Have you been curious about whether your dismissive avoidant ex-partner has a one that got away? Whether that might be you or a previous partner, or whether that could be you in the future. So stay tuned, because that's what we're talking about in this video. For those of you who are new to my channel, welcome in. And for all my regulars, good to see you. My name is Sarah. I am a mindset mastery coach, transformational hypnotherapist, and attachment style specialist. I focus mainly on attachment styles and also educating about the dismissive avoidant attachment style, as well as creating videos on how to heal, how to identify your attachment style, how to heal. And in the very near future, just going to leave that blooper in. In the very near future, more hypnotherapy, hypnosis, guided visualization style photo or videos by popular demand. And also featuring my brand new blind kitty. So stay tuned for that, guys. This is the way that this kitty found me is sort of a miracle in and of itself. So that's just something I'm going to be sharing on the video just for heart. And because I know a lot of you are cat lovers like myself, or pet lovers, animal lovers like me. So stay tuned. It's a beautiful story. Okay, so the dismissive avoidant, do they have the one that got away? Why would you be curious if this is you? Well, for a lot of you, your dismissive avoidant ex-partner perhaps departed on uncertain terms, right? Meaning they left, they discarded you, they disappeared, they ghosted, they dropped off the face of the planet. I hear this every day in my discovery calls and with my clients. In fact, a lot of my clients that have been married, like myself, to a dismissive avoidant found, now this didn't happen in my case, but a lot of my married or previously married going through divorce clients married to a dismissive avoidant discovered that they were just left hanging, paying the bills. The dismissive avoidant just literally disappeared for weeks or months on end, only to return asking for divorce, or just to return expecting nothing to have changed. So why are we curious about the dismissive avoidant? Because they're a mystery. Because there's no explanation for some of their behavior on the surface. But when we dig deeper into the neurobiology of dismissive avoidance or any attachment styles, we find that there's definitely a wounded inner child, and there was an inner critic, inner parent, mom or dad, sometimes both, and it's either emotional neglect, physical abuse, there was some addiction from either parent or caretaker, but something happened, even trauma, big trauma, something happened to sort of undermine the neurological development and the attachment system in this child. So on my channel, you will find that people think I'm defending the dismissive avoidant. I'm not defending any of the attachment styles. What I am doing is educating on them so you have an understanding, so you can free yourself from needing to point and blame the finger. Realize, yes, what they did was hurtful. It was incredibly painful to go through. I never want to go through that again. How do I figure out my role in this? Not that it's your fault, but so you can assume radical self-responsibility to move yourself forward. Because without that, you will repeat the same cycles ad infinitum in your life. You will repeat the same relationship cycles, the same cycles with abundance or money or worthiness or lack thereof. So we need to understand ourselves first to understand, why did I invite this painful lesson in the form of a person into my life? Now, I know this sounds really spiritual, but there's actually a very grounded basis for this. And it is attachment style and attachment theory. It's inner child work. It's reparenting your own inner child. It's being the mother or father that you didn't get, that you needed as a child. And it's also understanding that we can dynamically reparent ourselves. We can do this in session with myself or somebody like myself, preferably me, if you're watching my channel, obviously. By the way, if you'd like to work with me one-on-one, my discovery calls are now open, so you can book with me. There's a link to my calendar below, and very soon I will have links to freebies below, as well as a brand new website and a course coming next month. It's definitive, guys. It's coming next month, and it's all about mastering love. It's all about breaking through, moving beyond this pain, moving beyond the sleepless nights. I've taken everything that my clients have told me, every feedback, every ounce of feedback you guys have have given me on the channel to create this course. Okay, there's hypnotic sessions that will be both live and recorded. You can do this in the comfort of your own home, or you can do it live with us in a group. You're gonna have the support from me, the support in a group, and really understand and be able to master why things have transpired the way they have in your love life, in your romantic life. Because a lot of my clients are super successful in other areas of their life, and when it comes to love, they're stupefied and they can't figure out, why am I repeating the same pattern? Why am I repeating the same cycle with a different person? There's reasons for that. We're gonna get into it in the course. It's a 6-week course. You're gonna love it. It's amazing. So looking forward to that with you guys. Back to the video. So can anyone be the one that got away for the dismissive avoidant partner? The answer is kind of yes. And I know some of you are thinking, well, that means that I wasn't special. Hold on, not necessarily. When you're in the when the dismissive avoidant partner is in the throes of that love, when they're in the throes of the initial stages, right, of meeting you, of getting to know you, where things aren't yet serious, where there's not a lot that's demanded from them. And I don't mean, like, when I say demanded, they're feeling this as an attack or as a demand, and all you're doing is basically asserting your basic needs in a relationship. But the avoidant partner will see this as a threat to their independence. So presumably, it could be anyone they've dated who they now don't have access to, so therefore is no longer a threat to their attachment system and a threat to their nervous system, okay? Usually not even months, years have transpired. That's why oftentimes you'll find a dismissive avoidant partner and you'll find that they still have connections to an ex from years ago or decades ago. It's not because they're still in love with that person. It's because that person likely didn't challenge them the way that you have, didn't hold up the mirror in the way that you have, and likely that person is long gone, but they still might have them as a friend or a co-parent, or there's a certain way that they might identify, this person as, but they're not doing this consciously to hurt you, although it can be very hurtful when you're in a relationship with an avoidant partner and you're saying, hey, why do you need to have contact with this person from your past? It's because it's comfort for them, because it doesn't challenge them. And that to their attachment system feels safe and good. And so there's a part of them that identifies that as love. Well, maybe that's the one that got away. Maybe that was really the one, quote unquote. The truth is that there isn't the one that got away. For the dismissive avoidant partner, the one that got away is really themselves. They need to heal themselves and fix their attachment system, fix their attachment style to become more secure, to understand that love doesn't have to be scary. Not everybody is trying to attack you. Not everybody is out to get you. And that some people indeed can be trusted and you can be vulnerable, and it's safe and actually really, really freeing to be vulnerable, and that's how you grow and evolve as a partner, right? As a husband, as a wife, as a partner, whatever. And to be in a relationship, right? It's for them to be in a relationship that's sustainable. But here's the thing, that person, the one that got away, even though there's really not the one that got away, because that one that got away for the DA is always shifting, always changing, depending on where that, like the placeholder that person holds in their life. What placeholder is that person? Is it from 5 years ago, 10 years ago, recent breakup? If you're recently broken up with a DA, chances are you're not the one that got away in their mind. You might have been the one at some point in time. In fact, most of my clients and people who comment on the channel, my amazing viewers, tell me, hey, they told me I was the one. They told me we were soulmates, only to then renege on that statement and tell me that we were too different, we had nothing in common, we were incompatible, and we shouldn't be together. And that's when they'll even say to you, I thought you were my soulmate, but you're not, which can be really traumatizing, especially if you're in a serious relationship with this person and you really thought maybe that this was your person for life. But that person that they name, the one that got away in their mind, would become the enemy again, right? They would eventually become a threat again, and then the cycle would repeat itself on a mostly subconscious level. They're not doing this consciously. This is why I say, first of all, I'm not a fan of labels. And so calling all of our exes narcissists, not the way to go. That's not how we take accountability for our lives and for our choices. And also, it's simply not true. Not all of your exes or my exes are narcissists. In fact, most of them probably aren't. Very few people, a minuscule amount, actually have narcissistic personality disorder, but it's something that's been thrown around very irresponsibly in our society over the past decade or so, maybe even longer. So once in close proximity, to this person again, let's say they met up with them again or started seeing them again even, they would once again feel compelled on an internal level, that internal GPS, to distance themselves. The allure is in the distance, not the closeness. So the allure is, oh, they're the one that got away because I can't have them. And then once they can have them again, and once again these cycles repeat because they haven't actually done the internal work to shift the way that they view vulnerability or closeness or proximity, they would once again, distance themselves. So the allure is in the distance, and also the way this person doesn't challenge their shadow and hold up that mirror. Like I said in the beginning of this video, you likely, if you're here, challenged them, held up that mirror and said, look at what you're doing. Look at these cycles, look at these patterns, look at your childhood wounds. And if you really want to be with me, we need to tackle these together, and I need you to work on these things. And the DA is like, yeah, no, we're not going to go there, because their shame, their inherent shame, will keep them from being able to go there to that place or facing themselves in that mirror that you're holding up. This is why they can stay attached to exes or old flames, because again, those people are not challenging them anymore. It's almost like the fire has gone out and now there's just like the embers, but the embers are now cooling, right? You can see like a fire pit, in the winter or in the fall. And it's like just, the embers of the fire that once was. Well, now they're like, oh, the air is calm, it's purified, right? So in their mind, they're thinking, we can resume this. Oh, maybe I was wrong. Maybe this person really was the one to get me, the one that was going to change me, the one that's basically going to do the work for me, is what they're looking for on a subconscious level. So that person is on some form or shape is on a pedestal. The DA has placed them on a pedestal in their mind, and they may even rewrite history, and also they feel familiar because it's old patterns and cycles. So what's really interesting about our attachment style, guys, is that we tend to move towards chaos when we're not secure. Whether you're anxious, ambivalent, whether you're a fearful avoidant, aka disorganized, or dismissive avoidant, you will tend to move towards chaos, not away from it. A secure person does the opposite. They move away from chaos and towards peace. But when we're used to fight or flight, when we're used to having to defend ourselves or attack or feeling attacked, when we're used to feeling threatened, right? When we're used to feeling fear, when we're used to feeling the fear of abandonment, the fear of neglect, the fear of rejection, or the fear, the shame wound, we move away from that, not towards it. And so a partner that's even remotely secure or has done even a minuscule amount of work is going to threaten the insecure attachment style. You're going to threaten their core wound. You're going to threaten them. You're going to ask them to rise up and face themselves. And it's not that they're not capable. It kind of is. It is that they're not capable of doing that. Will they ever be? I don't know. That remains to be seen. But this person represents their stuckness. This person that they have on a pedestal, right, this ex, represents their stuckness, their old repetitive cycles, their ancient wounds. You don't want to be this person, trust me. This is the person they may go back to, and then they may even remarry this person, right? They may go back to this person years later only to realize, oh, oops, nothing's changed, because they think the external has changed, when in reality, they haven't changed themselves on the inside. So if your breakup is still fresh, like I said, it's less likely that you are this person to them. They're less likely to pedestal you, if I can make that a verb. Not if their nervous system can still recall the fear of being close to you, of the demands of intimacy that you put on this person, whether sexually, physically, emotionally, mentally, etc., spiritually. If they can still recall that and it's still even a little fresh in their mind or in their nervous system, the imprint of that is still there and still felt, it's much less likely that they're going to come back around. Remember, safety to a DA is distance. What scares them is being vulnerable, feeling too close to someone, feeling opened up, wide open. You'll never really get a DA, they'll never feel wide open to you. In fact, I'm going to do a video on that, because it's like you cannot break down their wall. It's impossible. And from the words of my ex-husband's mouth, it's not your job to break down my wall, it's my job. And he's damn right about that. It was never my job, and it was never your job to break down their wall. But you will exhaust yourself and abandon yourself at all costs to do it, only to be exasperated, only to be just like flabbergasted. Like, how did I barely make a dent in their armor? Because they've held out that armor since they were probably 3 years old or 7 years old or 9 years old, right? It's an ancient armor. It's an ancient force field that surrounds the DA. The further your relationship is in the past, the more likely they are to romanticize your connection and see you as the one that got away. Now, if you're still like clinging on to hope that you'll be the one that got away, let me remind you, because this is a channel for healing and forward movement and your evolution, you don't really want this. Unless that DA, first of all, let me say this. If you're the one that got away, they're not healed. If you're the one that got away and they've done some work, they're probably not going to identify you as the one that got away. They're the one that got away. They're going to look at you as, uh-oh, I need to rise up to meet that person. I want that person back because they made me look at myself. They made me want to be a better version. They made me want to be the best version of myself. I'm going to do the work. I'm going to stop dragging my feet. I'm not going to dig in my heels. I'm going to do the therapy. I'm going to do the body work. I'm going to do the inner child work, the reparenting. I'm going to do those things to get myself healthy so that I don't damage myself, my relationships, or other people. And if they really want you back, which honestly, guys, it's rare for a DA to come back around and seriously have done the work. It's happening more and more, and I think it will continue to. But right now, from my experience of the clients that I deal with and the stories I hear from all of you and the people that email me every day, is that stop focusing on them and focus on yourself and do your own damn work. Because only you are responsible for you. They're responsible for them. They're in their room. You're in your room right now, right? They're in their healing place or lack of healing place. You're in yours. Keep yourself as far away as possible from somebody who's unhealed. You can love them from a distance. You can still want to be back with them from a distance. Okay, you can move forward with your life and still love them from a distance. You may always love this person, but that doesn't mean you need to be with them. You may always love your ex-husband or ex-wife. That doesn't mean you're supposed to be married to them. We can love somebody without attachment. This is something we as humans have not mastered, but we can learn to try to love somebody and not feel the need to be in their life. And that is something, my friends, that is like mastery level, as my ex would say. That's mastery level stuff, Sarah. I don't know if I can get there. He would say that to me. And I share these things with you, these anecdotes and these stories about my relationship and my marriage, so that maybe it'll help somebody out there. He would say these things to me. I wish I could be that person and regulate my nervous. I just don't know how. I'm not that person. He didn't have the self-certainty. He didn't have the belief in himself that he could change enough to meet me where I was at. And yes, it's very sad, and it's also his truth. So respect what someone is telling you of where they're at. It's probably the truth. And don't try to make them into something that you need them to be. Let them be who they are. And let them show you who they are. And then you decide from there, do I want this person in my life, or am I better off moving on and maybe our paths meet if it's meant to be? Maybe they meet again, maybe they never do. But really releasing the attachment to the person, or even attachment to the outcome, attachment to what marriage was going to be or what that relationship was going to mean to you. So I hope this video has shed some light on the one that got away for your DAX partner, if that's you, whether that's you, and really, does it matter or not? Let me know in the comments below how this resonated. And if you're new, subscribe and make sure you hit that button to receive all notifications so you know when I'm live, you know when I'm uploading a video, when I've posted, and you'll know when I start releasing information here about signing up for the course, as well as for some freebies I'm throwing out there that I think will really help you guys get back on track to really start to master what you're going through and start to basically call your power back. Stop the rumination, stop the sleepless nights, stop the wondering that's the rumination. That's like the number one thing that I hear from clients. I can't stop ruminating. I can't stop going in circles about what they're doing, who they're with, why this happened, why didn't it work out, why didn't they want me? The truth is that your power lies in you being able to feel okay no matter what they're doing, who they're with, why, how, etc. And just accepting, okay, this happened. What am I going to do with my life now? How do I move forward and make each moment count, each decision count? So I'm looking forward to being on that journey with you. And again, just take care of yourself, put yourself first, and I'll see you guys in the next video. Take good care.